Are we live? We're
We
live.
are live.
I love it. I still get excited. You'd think after a year of doing this live stuff, you wouldn't get excited, but I'm still very excited. People, may the fourth be with you.
Oh, may the fourth be with you. All right,
I think
people,
it's
we
so
want to
cute.
hear like some great. Oh, that reminds me. Tuli, stay
Yeah.
right here. I'll be right back.
Where's he going? Don't leave me. It's scary to be here with all these unknown people who are flocking to our live stream. All these millions of people who are hearing us on live stream. It's very scary to leave me alone.
Yeah, okay. So, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? That's what we want people to say. You want to write it? I have to write it in the chat.
I don't know how to do anything.
No, you don't have access. What's your
I'm
favorite?
so happy to not have access. Can I tell you, I wish more parts of my life would be like non-access life. You don't have access. Great. I'm going over here instead.
All right, I just want to show you for May the Fourth be with you. This is something. It's like it's a little keychain. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Star
okay.
Wars.
In
Ready?
the pocket, yeah.
So then I have,
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
and then
That is so good. That is so good.
this one's my favorite though. And just to let everyone know what a great supervisor I am, I pressed this one in a supervision session this morning.
No. Oh, do not. Please don't try.
That is very cute. I will tell you, last Friday when we were doing game night with the middle schoolers, there's a game called Super Fight where you get roles and you have to argue your role and it's a
Yeah.
fight and then the rest of the people vote who won.
Oh,
So I got Darth Vader with a kind of sword. I forget what kind of sword it was.
a sword or not a lightsaber?
No, not a lightsaber, but I had two of these swords that I'd never heard of, and I think my English is pretty good. But anyway, whatever. And the other person was, I can't even remember what they were, and we had to go head to head, and I lost. I lost. It was very sad. I lost.
I think you're okay.
Anyway.
I think you're okay that you lost.
I
It's
think
okay to lose.
Well, Darth Vader was what I was trying to do. But I was trying to say that he not only has his lightsabers, but he also has these other great swords. And so he like chop people's heads off, right? But apparently it didn't fly. Didn't do a good job of Darth Vader. Okay, so hello people.
Sorry.
How is everybody? The millions who are watching us. Are we all good?
Yeah. Okay. So I just got here. I'm going to put it up on the screen a little bit. I got made fun of on a Saturday call with my high school friends because they pop on and watch and they're like, it's always Tuli starting and Tuli's always doing a little bit of work over here. And your face is always like this. And I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm doing the tech and I can't do two things at once. Okay. So the question for everybody was, what's your favorite Star Wars movie?
I'm not doing any work today. I'm just watching the screen, people.
This was Dana. Star Wars was never a fan. Oh, like Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. I liked the first season, not the second season. Not a fan.
Dana, you were there on Friday night game night with the middle schoolers. What was I? I was Darth Vader with these swords that I'd never heard of. And who was I fighting? What was I up against?
She's got to write it in the chat.
Yeah, we gotta wait for her, right? Like, and I lost kind of badly, right? Like, it was not even like it was a divided group. They were like, nope, we're going for that one over there.
But here's the thing, Tuli. Okay. Yeah. This is the thing that I love about our jobs is the fact that we get to be in contact with like teenagers, right?
Yeah, it's great.
Well, because everything else is so bleeping earnest. Like as an adult, like, it just drives me crazy. It's like,
you have to say the right thing.
Nothing's ever fun, right? And then you go and you hang out with teenagers and they're like, let's play WoW. And you're like, what the heck is WoW? Okay.
WoW,
right? Or there's like these like random things that you just talk about. Anyway, I so love it.
No, it's true. I totally love, right? Like that's why I do the work, right? Darth Vader with a Catarang against Chucky with a 6-foot neck. That's right. And Chucky won. I was so insulted. Anyway, yes, that is what totally.
Chucky is terrifying.
That is what keeps me in the work because I can tell you, like Sunday, I was so tired. Like I was overtired. I couldn't sleep because I, gotten here at like 8 and didn't get on until 9. So it was like one of those like, typical Sunday, right? Typical Sunday. And there weren't even kids, that many kids in the building. It was funny how tired I was. But it's right, like, yes, that is totally what keeps me in the work, because you have to watch yourself around people and what you say, and it has to be politically correct. And for instance, on one of my indie moms group, I was relieved to find somebody who's not a right winger, and I reached out to her with a DM. I mean, I don't know her, saying, "Good to hear you speak up," and she said something like, "What liberalism is over exaggerated and doesn't exist." And I swear, I had to like read it 3 times. I'm like, "What do you mean liberalism?" Like, what? What are you saying? And basically, she was saying that people are more conservative than we think, and right, like that's why when you scratch the surface, all the right wingers come out. Anyway, whatever.
That's an earnest conversation I'm not willing to have today.
Exactly. So that's why making the Mother's Day was so much fun. The Mother's Day video clip that I made was so much fun because the whole idea was laughter. Our theme for the month, people, is healing. All you high school friends of Emily who are watching, the theme for the month is healing. And I'm not doing any work because now you accuse me of doing work. I will never spend these 30 minutes doing work. Anyway. So I
don't think they accused you. I think they
I shook my finger at you too. Yeah, that's right. Mother's Day, right? The idea, so the theme for the month is healing. So we're thinking about why does everything need to be so earnest and can
the packets this month, they're hard.
Yeah,
the packets and they're like
complicated, right? People have complicated relationships with their mothers. I mean, first of all, half the people's mothers are not here anymore. Oh, there was a great article in the Times this morning about mothers and how complicated that process is for other people. They might not have a good relationship with their mother. There might have been abusive relationships. So it's Mother's Day, Father's Day are very complicated, right? And frankly, it's a huge cultural thing. Where I grew up, every day Mother Day, man. Like, you better bow in adoration and respect to your mother every single day. Otherwise, some God will have your head somewhere. So it was weird to have this one day designated as Mother's Day. But anyway, so I was trying to make something that was kind of like laughter as healing, right? Where does healing come from? It comes from introspection. It comes from sitting still, but it also comes from laughter. Laughter is so healing, right? Like that belly laughter kind of thing.
Yeah. So I have a question out there for folks. Is like, who in your life makes you laugh? And I will say, first off, Tuli Patel cracks me up, and I always feel so guilty.
It's the accent.
It's not the accent at all. It's the fact that you are bold enough to say, I'm internalizing, going like, no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. But you ask the question, and that is it's both like liberative, and you're like, yeah, so I had this crazy idea about this. Let's do it. And it just cracks me up. It's like, it's saying the thing like that you don't understand, and like, is this what you mean? But it's always like some crazy thing that you've thought of. And then the other part is that like you have these bold ideas that are so fun. Anyway, you just crack me up.
Thank you. You crack me up too.
I'm not a funny person. I enjoy people who are funny. You know how like there's,
well, I don't know. There's like funny and funny, right?
I mean,
Oh, Jen is here. Hi, Jen.
This is Jermaine. She's hilarious.
Jermaine is here too. It's our crew.
I do think that there's a role for people who laugh at funny people, like laugh with funny people. Like in order to be funny, you need people that are willing to.
Yeah. Well, so when I was in Los Angeles in grad school, there used to be a great cafe on campus that did improv. And man, that was my gig. I loved that improv.
Oh, yeah, because it leads you to some hilarious like juxtapositions, right?
It's just fantastic. Like, I love that improv. It was great.
So my friends, who are the people in your lives? Let's just lift their names up in the chat. Who make you laugh?
My kid makes me laugh. The younger one. The older one, not so much.
Kabir, you have other uses.
Yes, he has lots of other uses.
Like driving Sammy to youth group on Sunday.
That's right. That is exactly right. Lots of other uses. But the young one definitely cracks me up because he says the most outrageous things.
I wonder who he gets that from.
Yeah.
So, and I know that I've said this, like my dad is another person who like just was just funny. I mean, he just did weird things all the time. Like, I mean, the classic example was when my grandmother had a Noel sign in the front yard for Christmas, and he constantly went outside and changed it to Leon. It's one of my favorite stories. So everybody should know that I did get my grandmother Leon, and I made my uncle put it up in her window. I'm not sure his older brother put up Leon.
Leon is great. I love Leon. Happy Leon.
So I see that Dana says Nicole Gray makes me squeal with glee.
Who's Nicole Gray?
Well, we don't know, but it's somebody for Dana Moore. We're just lifting up names.
See, like this is the other thing. People are half the time saying names, and I'm like, who?
It's not that we're supposed to know who these people are. It's that they're lifting up names.
Maybe it's her muse who makes her laugh.
Yeah.
Because everybody better have a muse.
Just going back to Kabir for a moment, Jermaine says that Kabir is Sammy's straight man. He's, how do you explain straight man?
Like the guy who keeps him on the...
No, but he's like people... Sorry, I'm looking at the chat and trying to hold this conversation. Like the straight man is the one who like makes the straight guy. The straight man is the one who
makes the jokester look good.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. Yes. And now I get it.
Felix and Oscar. Yeah, Felix and Oscar.
Oh, that's right. Felix and Oscar. The Odd Couple.
Ernie and Bert.
Yes. But Jermaine calls me and Sammy Felix and Oscar and The Odd Couple.
Wow.
He's like...
I don't know. I think you're both the hilarious one, but maybe together makes you the straight man. And Nicole Gray is Dana's UU sister.
Oh, thank you, Dana, for telling me that. I can't tell you how many times I'm like, am I supposed to know that person? I don't know who that person is. Don't tell me it doesn't happen to you all. It totally happens to you all. When like somebody rattles off some famous name and you're like, oh, sorry, never heard of them.
But you've heard of all the famous people that matter. Seriously.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, people, what are we talking about today? What do you all want to know? Put some questions in the chat and we'll answer them for you. You've got an ordained minister here. Ask us some deep theological questions.
Oh, no, please. Robin's not here.
So?
Not any deep theological questions. I told you, I'm out of earnestness. I will say that, and I'll probably say this on Sunday as well, but the laughter, like, because I can be so earnest and I can be so hard on myself, that having people who make me laugh helps shift my energy. And that's what I think the healing part about all of this is like, you need somebody who's going to help you shift your energy out of that like absolute funk.
But it's interesting. Are you hard on yourself or are you hard on the product? Like, for instance, so like I'm doing something that Emily and Jen both know about. And Jen is of course involved in the coming of age service, and I want it a particular way, right? But I'm not like, I just want the product in a particular way, right? Like I have a vision and I want it like that. But I don't know if I'm hard on myself about it. Like I'm not going to tell myself to work any harder.
For me, it's different.
Yeah.
Because for me, like the product is what the product is. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it absolutely sucks. And I can be hard on that, but I'm always hard on me because I expect, and I'm trying to get rid of this, but I have this idea that I'm in control of everything. And it's my fault if you and Sammy were to get into a fight. And even if I know rationally that that's not true, inside, I'm like, I'm holding it, like I'm holding my breath. And that's why laughter helps me. It reminds me to breathe, right? So during lunchtime today, like on Tuesdays, which are so hard for me because it's just like back to back to back meetings.
Yeah.
And I find myself holding my breath because it's like, how do I need to help this meeting feel like it's better, right? So I was having lunch with Alice And my family will tell you that I walk around the kitchen and I go, whew.
Oh yeah, we do a lot. Like the boys tell me that my signature sounds are and they're like, there goes the Indian.
Because you're walking around with whatever it is in your head and you're like,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So today Alice was like, what is it, Mom? Sorry, you can see the earth turning. And I was like, I just need to get the negative. She was like, how was your morning? I was like, my morning was actually pretty good, but I have this tense energy. So I went around going,
yeah, those are the somatic practices.
So speaking of that, your meditation yesterday talked about that. And I led a meditation on, Tuli, did I lead everyone in a meditation that that the meditative world would be like, that is wrong, Emily?
There's no such wrong thing as meditation.
I'm like, everybody, let's breathe out first.
No, it's fine.
I just liked the metaphor.
There are lots of practices like that. In fact, so the three of us, Sammy's somehow not in it. He always ends up managing to be in the shower at that time. But Vikram, Kabir, and I are doing an evening meditation every day, and it rotates. And then Vic keeps wanting
Sammy happens to be in the shower.
And
I've got to take a shower.
Do we have to do that one again? It's so fucking boring. Find another one, right? And so they're scrolling through their library of meditations that for us to do. But there are so many different kinds. And then you end up sort of liking some, you end up having favorites. And you end up not. So like the one that I did on Monday was definitely a riff from one of the ones that I had liked and that I had sort of absorbed. Because what happens is you sort of practice it for a day and then that evening is another one. And then you do that for another day, right? So it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. No, there's no right or wrong.
Well, I will tell everybody that I hope you all will check it out. But on Monday we send out meditations, and Tuli did this fantastic meditation, which is, I mean, it was a real reminder about letting go, like to the point of if you find yourself tense, especially after conversations that are hard, or when you've been working so hard on a product that you feel like is not going well, like a meditation that reminds you to let go.
Yeah, I can't remember what I said because we have to submit them like a week before, so I better go back and listen.
Well, you're gonna have to go back and listen because you're gonna put some images to it.
So I'm gonna try and put some images to it.
All right. So just while we're on laughter, one thing I just want to make fun of myself because it's hilarious to me, and I'd love to hear. I mean, people, we need questions.
Hilarious to you.
Well, it might be hilarious to you as well, but I don't think you all can see it as much. Like, so the thing that I think is going to be very funny about coming back out into the world is our haircuts, right? So Tuli, when was the last time you had your haircut?
February 2020, right before I came back from India. But this is typical for me. I only get my hair cut in India. So my mother is full of awe and wonder. So I have to call her on FaceTime every day. And she says, let's see your tresses. And then I go like this. And she goes, okay, now you can call on the landline. Yeah, so I have not had a haircut.
Does she want your hair to be long?
I don't know what the hell she wants.
Because you used to have really long hair when you were young, right? You've shown me pictures.
I don't know what she wants, but it's not only gotten long, but it's also very thin. So there's a gajillion bald spots.
It's what happens, right?
I am on the verge of just gonna shave it all off. But I think I have a pretty small face and head, so it'll look really weird, especially with my largish body. In fact, it was very funny. In the 5th grade OWL class, we were talking about body sizes and all that. And the kids are talking, I mean, they're not using the language, but they're basically talking about fat shaming and things. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I know I'm overweight and that's who I am. So I don't mind if you would call me fat because that's the truth of it. I don't see it as a pejorative way.
Right, right.
Oh, really? I'm like, yeah, bring it, person. Oh, no one has a pedicure. Those pedicures are rough, man, Jermaine. We should make people have a foot party, right? We should make them take their shoes off. Pedicures are rough. Hashtag boobs. I like it. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. So hair, feet. What else?
So I will just say in terms of hair, if you could see close. So I gave myself a haircut Saturday morning, Monday morning, something like that.
Nice.
Well, no, because so just to show you, all right. So it's longer on this side. I was trying to cut it to get this side.
Why didn't you get a family member to do it?
Well, because nobody, anyway, so I'm doing it. So this side's longer, right? Which means that like when I get out of the look, like if I go this side, look how much longer.
But it's trendy, yeah.
Oh, it's trendy. I get it. But what that means is like every time I get out of the shower, there's always one long piece hanging over. So I keep cutting it. And then inevitably, but if you actually could see it right now, there are these pieces that are like so much shorter. It's just terrible. And the back of my head, because I literally I just literally pull the hair out and then I clip it.
Yeah.
Clip it. And I came downstairs. I was like, how does it look, everybody? And Alice was like, I mean, Mom, it's fine. But she's trying to be.
Yeah, I will say the winter was hard. Well, first of all, my family's never going back to a barber salon because they can't believe we spent that kind of money. They're like, we're just going to keep doing this at home. And I'm just going to keep having tresses until I go to India once a year and get it cut. Anyway, so I couldn't stand in the winter when it was too cold to have the haircuts outside because they started doing it indoors. They were very careful because they know that I go, if I find one piece of hair anywhere in the bathroom. So they're all frantically trying to clean up after they finish, right? So they started doing it indoors. They were all very careful about it. But the piece that pissed me off was it ends up in the tap. Like no matter how careful you are, it's in my dryer and in my washer. And that's the piece that drives me mad.
Tuli, try having a freaking bunny. Oh. So here's, okay. So Carol Conger Miller has asked me to turn around so that you can see the back of my head. So I will, because that's how I am.
Oh, nice. Not bad. That's a laugh for the day. Yes, well done. Nicely done.
Yep,
nicely done.
You saw it here, everybody.
Yeah, what about the bunny?
So yesterday, I'm on a conference call with our partners in Transylvania, and also our hopeful partners. We're adding a partnership from India in the Khasi Hills, right? Thank you, Jermaine. That's very sweet that it's not horrible. And as Alice said, it's not horrible, but anyway, so I'm on this call and like, we're all muted, right? And so my kids are at school and I had let the bunny out upstairs in Alice's room. And then all of a sudden I hear this bang and I'm like, oh, crap, right? The bunny has done something. So it's just free roaming Alice's room. But when I heard the bang, my face went, right?
But you muted so nobody else knows what you're gasping at.
So the leader of the meeting was like, Emily has some strong feelings about this. At which point I unmuted and I literally had to say, I'm sorry, I have to go upstairs because I have a bunny who has just done something. And he's like, it's a real bunny? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we should tell pandemic Zoom stories when they're still all over, right? Early in the pandemic, there was that CNN guy in Hong Kong who was trying to be on a newscast and the kid wandered through, then the nanny wandered through, then he stood up and he had no pants on. So like that was the start of the stories, right? But I know that each one of us has these crazy Zoom stories.
So I brought these. I haven't yet read them, but these are schooling pandemic stories.
What are you reading them in?
It's my grandmother sends me Good Housekeeping.
Nice.
It used to be Better Homes and Gardens, but there was a switch and I'm not sure.
You know the magazine that I missed, that I semi grew up on, that was always in the bathrooms everywhere, was Reader's Digest. Do people not get Reader's Digest anymore?
Oh, I haven't heard of anyone getting Reader's Digest in the longest time.
Isn't that weird? Why did it stop? Did it go kaput?
Maybe. Somebody needs to Google that.
I used to love Reader's Digest. I used to love their once in the day off and their nearly died and didn't die stories. I used to love those things.
I don't think I've ever really read a Reader's Digest.
Oh, I used to read them cover to cover. That and Archie Comics. Like Archie Comics is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not to ask the universe to send me Far Side comics from my dad. That's what I'm considering right now.
Right. That would
that
be.
to see if they just show up. My mom has asked for coins. She got a dime the other day. My dad threw her a dime.
Oh.
Oh, Jermaine loves Archie. See, Tuli's like, oh, this conversation has gone
But
somewhere.
Jermaine, why were they all white? Like Betty, Veronica, Archie, Jughead, or at least they all look white. What happened to the people of color? How come they're not in the comics? Right?
I think so. I didn't read Archie all that much.
Richie Rich, Archie Comics.
Are they?
and
Were
they're
they
all
a part of the same comic strip, or were they?
No,
They're different.
Richie Rich is different from Archie. And of course, now it's been made into a show. And I'm like, that's not how I imagined Betty, or Veronica, for that matter.
Well, so Jermaine says technically Veronica wasn't white.
Oh, really? Okay, maybe she was Latinx. Yeah,
Yeah, Latina.
maybe. Technically. But they never said any of that.
Yeah.
They never show that. Way to erase the culture.
Right. Right.
Well, it starts, right? Like in our training, we learned the first to go is dress, then language, and the last thing to go is food. But you never see Veronica eating anything other than burgers and fries.
Oh. That reminds me. That's
2:00.
Oh no, crap. Okay.
What
I
is
just want
mine?
to say for Carol Conger Miller that she used to read Can This Marriage Be Saved in one of the women's magazines. I totally remember that article.
Okay.
Jermaine,
Well,
Jermaine says they hinted where when her grandparents came around.
maybe Bill and Melinda should have read that.
I am so impressed with your all's memories.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye. Have a great day.